Hi guys, so I've got the Urban Decay new electric palette. It's $49. It's going to be a quick and brief review just to show you some swatches of the color payoff, and hopefully this will be helpful. Let's get started. This is the very colorful box that the palette comes in. On the back it has all of the colors listed as well as a small brush that's going to be inside the box. If we take a look inside, the palette is exactly the same as it is inside the box. Okay, so we've got all 10 colors here in front of us. I'm going to read them off from left to right and from left to right before I swatch them. The first one is Revolt. It's a nice shimmery silver color. The second one is Gonzo. It's a true royal blue color. The next one is Slow Burn. This is kind of a very bright red and a very bright pink, almost an orange, but you'll see how it kind of comes off on the skin. Then we've got Savage, which is a hot pink. We've got Fringe, which is a beautiful teal color. We've got Chaos, which is a true blue matte color. We've got Jilted, which is a nice orchid color shade of purple. We've got Urban, which is a true shimmery purple. We've got Freak, which is not quite a neon green, but it's more like a lime green, if you will. And then we've got Thrash, which is going to be more like your neon green, neon yellow color. Now let me go ahead and swatch these so you can see how they pay off. Okay, so what I've done, guys, is go ahead and swatch these without a primer, and let me tell you why. Number one, I wanted to get the true payoff so that you could see how well they were going to work on their own. And number two, what I've learned as a makeup artist is no matter how much I try to convince people to use a primer or a paint pot, it's really up to the individual. So there's going to be a lot of people out there that put on their shadow and don't wear a primer. So this will give you an idea of how it's going to work on its own. However, while the pigment is great, I will say that without a primer, you're taking the chance that the long wearing or the longevity of these colors won't be as great as it would be with a primer. And that's the primer of your choice. Moving forward, from left here we have the Revolt that I talked about, which is a nice shimmery silver, and these are pressed pigments, guys, for the most part. Most of these are pressed pigments. It's really gorgeous. It will take a couple of swipes to get that good layered effect. Gonzo is the nice royal blue that I spoke of. It is going to take maybe just one. I would layer it, just logically I would layer it, but you don't have to layer it. I'll say that. With one swipe, it was a great pigmentation. The third one is Slow Burn. Now you see how it comes off on the skin. It's a reddish, kind of a neon reddish pink combination color, and that's on me. So with kind of a tan skin, you can see how it's going to come off. On very fair skin or very dark skin, it's going to be much brighter. Which is a good thing if that's what you're looking for. Savage, I'm a little disappointed in. It does take a couple of swipes to get that payoff. It comes off a little bit more sheer than I expected. And the same with Fringe. Fringe is gorgeous, but you do have to build it up. It's on the second row in the palette. From left to right, we have Chaos. This is a matte blue. Now I have Chaos in, the Urban Decay Vice palette, the first one that came out. And I'll say that the pigmentation or the payoff in that one was a little bit easier than in this particular one. It looks gorgeous, but it's a little chalky. I layered it twice, so just be cautious about that. The second one is Jilted. Again, same situation. Gorgeous orchid color. Doesn't have as much shimmer in it or as much of a pearl effect as I thought it would based on what it looks like inside the palette. And that's a couple of swipes on that one as well. So that's something to think about. The third one is Urban. Gorgeous purple. Paid off really, really well, actually. Still not as shimmery as it looks in the palette. Considering that they're calling some of these pressed pigments. So my expectation on their payoff is more of a... they're not identified whether they're matte, shimmer, pearl, frost, etc. So when I see that shimmer in it, I expect to have more shimmer in the payoff. And so this one doesn't have that, but it does look very nice. It's a true purple color. And the fourth one is Freak. This is gorgeous. This is a beautiful shimmery lime green color. Depending on what you mix it with, I'm sure it'll change. It looks almost a little duochrome. I do see some gold or some yellow in that as well. Love that one. And finally, Thrash. a true neon yellow green. Again, gorgeous. This is going to be your matte shade. I could do so many things with this. It just looks like one of those really lucky colors. I really, really love this. Okay, so now that I'm back and you see that I've made a complete mess of this palette, I don't really need these little brushes. I'm not a fan of Urban Decay's double-sided brushes. I never really have been. Most of them are pretty heavy. I haven't even touched this one. I find myself using them for other things besides makeup, but I digress. Nonetheless, for the most part, I think this is a great palette. I think it's gorgeous. It's got a lot of nice bright spring and summer colors for those really artistic and eclectic looks that we like to do, nighttime looks, just kind of the fun stuff, you know. This is going to be a great pairing with the Naked 1 in 2 palette, I would say, because they have more of the browns, the blacks, the vanilla colors that we like to kind of offset some of these bright springy colors with. Now I will say, as you saw, there were some struggles with some of the payoff and the need to layer a little bit more than I expected. There's going to be a little bit of fallout with Revolt and Chaos as well. But for the most part, $49 is a great price point. It does come with a nice sturdy mirror. This is one of the few. Now I didn't take the plastic off of it yet, but this is the one that just stands on its own, so I can kind of appreciate how, you see how it just kind of sits, how it's not so heavy that it falls back or becomes something that is not usable. You can basically set that mirror any way that works best for you while you're applying your makeup or your eyeshadow. So with that said, guys, I hope that you find this helpful. I'll be doing a tutorial on this very soon, and hopefully you guys will find that somewhat enjoyable as soon as I kind of get my ideas and my thoughts together. If you've picked up the palette or if you've received the palette in the mail, please let me know your thoughts below. I'd love to hear them and what your experience is with it so far, and I will see you guys on the next go round. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!